Hi, and welcome to my life in clear, slightly cool Central Texas. I am Kismet, the feral grandma, keeping an eye on the little Chihuahua dog. He helped me eat chicken livers today. Now, I'm not quite as fond of beef liver as I used to be, and I find I'm eating less of the chicken livers too, which means I must not need what's in them. I also find that there's not a lot of celebratory happiness over my 85 to 90 pounds of weight loss. I mentioned being 90 pounds down once recently in chat with family. One person desperately asked what was I doing, and I said as close to zero carb as possible. There have been no more questions. My daughter is still making meat cult comments. No happiness. I mean, my eczema's cleared up. My weight's... I'm having to buy clothes. And I'm wearing my Duluths as tight as I can cinch the belt. I'm putting new holes in the belt. Hi, puppy. Are you done? Yeah, they're a little noisy over there. He looks over at the neighbor's house like, do something about them, Mommy. They give me a headache, too. And now that the sun is down, the temperature is dropping a little bit, and that's fine. I continue to worry about my family. My daughter and grandchildren eat all the seed oils they can get their hands on, whether it's soaked into fried bready products or used to make cheese-like products. Tonight, their dinner was breaded chicken, little nuggets, and a not very good cheese sauce, and big soft bread pretzels, and they had a sugary orange sauce that you can pick up at the store that's pretty close to the stuff you can get at Panda Express. It's okay, puppy dog. We're not going to stay out long. Poor carni-wawa. He got shouted out on the daughter-in-law's live stream recently. Because from the front, he does look like he don't miss arm day for nothing. His little elbows stick out, and he's got all the chest happening. He don't miss chest day, he don't miss arm day. The rest of him is just as sweet and tiny as a chihuahua can be. He's got a little something else in him, maybe. He does not have that apple-shaped head that some of the chihuahuas in the world have. He's got a deer head. He comes to a more delicate point. And he's got a little bit of curly hair, so he might be mostly curly-haired chihuahua. But he's not as outlandishly wild and curly with the fur sticking everywhere as some of those guys are. I got Loki to eat because it was getting 7 o'clock, and it's like we stop at 8. So I had to get him to get something in his face. His default is burger patties with cheese on them. He is controlling himself more with cheese, although I buy perfectly nice cheese. I like nice cheese. It's gotta be good cheese. I'm with semi-retired Bob on that one. Good cheese is worth looking for. None of those plastic wrapped, store brand, mostly made of oil, American cheese flavored slices of gelled oil for me. That stuff is nasty. I could not get myself to eat cheese for a long time when I was young. I was married and my husband going, "Why don't you eat cheese? Eat burgers the way they make them at the burger joint." I'm like, God, no. And all the special orders take more time and they're more likely to mess them up. I don't care. It ain't worth it. 50 cents for a slice of gelled vegetable oil product that somewhat resembles food? No. Not the kind of thing people should be eating. And let's see. The avocado seedling sitting out today. The worst of the sunburned leaves is getting quite crispy, but the other two look to still be functioning. And there's some more leaves coming up the top. And then there's the weird baby citrus of some kind. I really hope it lives. It's lived this long. Although, after a couple of years, there should be more to it than that. Oh well. I got a couple of empty big buckets that are nested together. I need to get the blueberry that's trying so hard to be alive into one of these big blue buckets. And the other two, I don't know if they'll make it. One of them has survived a hard winter already. And then we get around to this year, and there's another hard winter. The other one was a replacement purchased in the springtime. And then the one that's down there next to where the dying tomatoes were at, I'm not eating them. Seriously. But my grandson likes blueberries. My daughter eats a few occasionally. It's how to put flavor into those nasty glyphosate cakes we call pancakes. But as long as it's alive, I can try to keep it alive. I better take these two plants in and the little dog before he starts barking at people for their music choices. As I said, I don't know if he likes their music or not. I don't. They don't know what I like or don't like. I'm over here at my place. I don't make enough. I mean, think about coyotes and wolves. If they live near people, they don't make the kind of noise that is going to get them hunted. A feral human doesn't try to stick out. Things you learn if you do search and rescue where bears and mountain lions are a thing. It's one of the places I used to go train at when Loki and I were young and doing that kind of work. It was on the eastern side of Wyoming, close to where they would release bears and mountain lions if they got to be too much of a problem to keep them in Yellowstone. Just take them where there aren't a lot of people, turn them loose. And then they have to learn about berries and other things that bears should be eating. Usually there's enough people in campgrounds during the summertime that they won't bother around. But not always. But that's where we were, eastern Wyoming. Are you done, puppy dog? Did you want to say hi to the internet? I think the internet likes you, yeah. The internet likes little dogs and cats. Lots and lots of cats. And he looks so sad when anybody pets the cat. It's like, why the cat and not me? Well, if he'd be a little more social, he'd get petted more often. We are somewhat waiting on a package. Teenage boy has a problem with his phone, and it's supposed to deliver before 10 p.m. tonight. We'll see. And he doesn't want anyone else setting it up. He wants to do it himself. It might work. Oh well, we'll find out. But make good choices. Try to make good food choices. Now, tomorrow I might be rendering some tallow. Or maybe the day after that. I don't know. Tomorrow evening I have Tai Chi. And we tend to start with Pakwa, which moves, the form moves in an I Ching shape. And we call it a circle, but it's really an octagon. And I get lots of chances to be feeling pretty darn dizzy. And then some of us who've been there so long that I should be further along, I'll admit that. But we've had interruptions when the father-in-law died, my sister-in-law, and then my husband's sister-in-law, his brother's wife. And that youngest brother has since remarried a lovely, lovely Asian woman. I think she's Vietnamese. And she's a wonderful cook. Of all the people in the family, she's the one I will break diet for. She makes good spring rolls. I like spring rolls. I make spring rolls, but they're a bit of a headache. Now, something that's helpful is to have a flat pan with water in it, because you dip the spring roll wrapper to rehydrate it a bit, and then you want to lay it across a plate that is not entirely the same diameter as the wrapper, and then you start putting your fillings in, and then you fold one side over and tuck the ends kind of like a burrito, and then you roll it as tightly as you can, and it's so good. More people should eat fresh made stuff. It's awesome. It too makes stuff. I mean, although she had a hard time expressing to the men in the family last spring break last year when we were all hanging out at the ranch, and a lot of people were drinking too much, and when people are drinking too much and hard of hearing, they start shouting too much. But she wanted to make a fried rice dinner. You know, you put a lot of good stuff in it, and you get some really good fried rice, but she was trying to express the fact that you need to cook the rice the day before and then chill it. And this changes the structure of the starch molecule, that your body has an easier time with it. It turns it into a slightly more digestible food. When a people has been making something for centuries, you might figure out that they mean what they say when they say this has to be cooked before, and then you spread it on a pan and cool it. And that's still being done in the best Asian restaurants all over the country and all over our country today. Or you can just take things the way the younger brother-in-law does. Just smile and get her whatever she wants, because she's a good cook. If she says she wants a rice cooker, you get her the biggest, best rice cooker you can find. I only have a tiny one because there's just the daughter and the 2 grandchildren using it for the most part. But I backed her up on what she was saying about cooking the rice ahead and then chilling it, because starches absorb water. We all know that. And there's something about doing this with rice that allows a gelatinization of the rice kernel, each one. And then you will find that you have a much more enjoyable fried rice when you make it. I don't think my parents ever did that, but I wouldn't be surprised if my dad knew. He was in Thailand for a little while with the Air Force. But I think it's time to gather up the doggy. He's a little too interested in goings on across the road. So, make good decisions. Research food information, even if it's not things you eat, because you might be able to back someone else up on something they're talking about. But make good decisions for your own sake. And try to be a good example. Sometimes being feral is being a good example. I don't stay holed up in the house. That would be counterproductive and pointless when someone's trying to be more active. I go out and I go to martial arts. And all the people around here have seen the Dragon and Tiger t-shirts. And a lot of people my age and a little bit older will know what the Dragon and Tiger emblems are about. There's a little dragon on my sword, too. And if I get any comments asking for more information about martial arts, especially martial arts that are a little bit easier on us older folks like Tai Chi, I might even get Master Duncan in an interview. He's cool. He puts up with me. And his wife is one of the people I was thinking of when I said I need to repot the little blue flowers in the square planter, because I don't think there was a single bloom last spring. And if I get it done before we really get warm temperatures and lots of rain, there could be blooms on the whole mass of it. Gotta separate out those rhizomes. It's not bulbs, it's rhizomes. I've repotted them before. Alright, so make good decisions, learn what you can, do what you can, and maybe find out if Bob's got any more challenges coming up. Steak and Butter Gal always does. She's a lovely young lady. There's always challenges, there's always things doing. You could say where you're from in the comments one day and wind up talking to people and find someone you'd go to a park and maybe have a weenie roast with. You don't know. But encourage each other. Alright, good night.